Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. Zhanibek Alimkhanuly, I probably mispronounced the name, I apologise. He from Kazakhstan. He absolutely obliterates Canada's STEVEN Butler in only 2 rounds. And there isn't a great deal to say about this fight because it was very, very brief. But it was an explosive performance by the 30-year-old Kazakh. And to be honest with you, I'm not that surprised. I thought Butler might fiddle his way through some rounds. I mean, Denzel Bentley took Alimkhanuly 12 rounds in his last fight, lost a unanimous decision, but did win rounds and did reasonably okay. But this smacked more of a sort of like the fight that Zhanibek had with Danny Dingham, who was completely ill prepared to go in with Alimkhanuly, and in fact he lost in 2 rounds too. Well, STEVEN Butler, I mean, it was never going to be an easy night. He came into the fight with 32 wins, that's 26 KO, so he might have a bit of pop to his punches. 3 losses, and all 3 were by KO or TKO. And the most recent was in 2021, January 2021, where he lost to a guy called Jose Macias. He lost in 5 rounds, and prior to that, he lost in 5 rounds to Ryota Murata. That was over in Japan, of course. And, you know, if you haven't got a good chin and you're going with Zhanibek, you're asking for trouble. And since then, STEVEN Butler hadn't really done much at all. He'd won 4 fights on the bounce, but I think all 4 of those were in 2022. So he's been busy. You know, can't fault his activity. And some of the guys he beat. I mean, Mark DeLuca had, was a 28-3 record. That was in Canada, and he beat Brandon Brewer, who only had 1 defeat on his record, and Hector Zepeda, again in Canada. He had a sort of glossy record, 20-3. So his last win was on points against Joshua Conley, but all 4 of those were in Canada, and he hasn't travelled well, put it that way, Butler. So I have doubts whether he's really world class. Maybe he's a fringe contender, but there he was fighting for the WBO middleweight title against Zhanibek. And in the first round, they came out, Butler, orthodox fighter, Zhanibek, a southpaw. Butler moved a bit. He wasn't running, I wouldn't say, but he was. And the first round was sort of nip and tuck, really. Zhanibek was hunting him. Butler was staying out of trouble, but at the same time, he was letting his hands go. He wasn't running shamelessly. But you just knew that the moment Zhanibek got close and started throwing some heavy leather, you just knew that the test would be, could Butler take it? Well, we got the answer in the second round because early on in the round, Alimkhanuly landed a hellacious left uppercut, which just unhinged Butler. I mean, his legs were all over the place. He was flailing, dropped his guard, and a follow-up attack, including another, I think it was another left uppercut, put Butler. He fell forward onto the floor. It was a knockdown, perfectly legitimate knockdown. Up gets Butler, and Jack Reese, who's the referee, looks at him. And to be honest with you, even at that point, Butler didn't look good. He looked shaken badly, like he didn't have his legs around him. He was saying, I mean, his legs weren't really under him. He was saying, "Look, I'm okay. I can fight. Let me go on. And Reese was saying, "Step to the side and do all that business." It didn't look convincing. But Reese, renowned for allowing fighters to carry on and giving them every chance. Of course, he was the referee who allowed Tyson Fury enough time to wake up and get up and fight back in that 12th round of the first fight with Wilder. Jack Reese let him carry on. Butler was all at sea. Alimkhanuly chased after him. I can't remember which punch it was that put him over for the second time, but Butler goes down. I think it was another left hand. Butler went down, and again, he gets up. It's kind of like his body won't obey him. His body won't obey his mind, because you could actually hear him say to Jack Reese, "I'm okay. Yeah, I can fight on. I'm fine. You're not fine, mate. Your legs have gone. You just haven't got a great chin." And Reese, at one point, Reese sort of gently pushed Butler or motioned to him to move back to the corner, and Butler sort of fell back. But Reese did allow him to carry on. And, the writing wasn't just on the wall. I mean, it was a foregone conclusion what was going to happen. Alimkhanuly goes after Butler. Butler again flailing around, trying to grab and hold. Enormous left uppercut. Over he goes again, Butler. And at that point, I mean, that was the heaviest of the 3 knockdowns. At that point, Reese waves it off, quite rightly so. So it's a second round TKO for Zhanibek Alimkhanuly, who defends his WBO middleweight title. And you've got to say the middleweight title is dead at the moment, absolutely dead. I was looking at the rankings, the different rankings for the middleweights, and you count how many contenders have fought each other in those, whatever rankings, the 4 major ones, and then maybe the BoxRec, maybe the Ring magazine. Count how many, pick any rankings and count how many contenders have fought each other. It's dead, and that's your reason. They're not fighting each other. I'm talking about the top 10 now. They're just not fighting each other. Afterwards, Zhanibek was saying, I want Canelo, don't they all, because that's a big payday, even though it's up at super middleweight. But he also mentioned Charlo. And yeah, Charlo's a good fight. Charlo and Zhanibek. Get some fire, get some life. Get some life into this division. It's one of the great divisions, the middleweights. And it's an absolute shambles at the moment. There's nothing going on there. And okay, knocking out STEVEN Butler in 2 rounds, it might look good on a highlight reel, but Butler is, you can argue, he wasn't really, well, he wasn't top 10 material, I'll put it that way. But then it's a dead division, so and he won 4 on the bounce against reasonable men, or men who had reasonable records. Why not give him a title shot? But he wasn't going to win any more than Danny Dingham was going to win, But yeah, what did you think of this fight? This actually headlined a very, very good top-ranked card. It was a very good card. Really enjoyed watching it. I don't think you'll be able to get it on YouTube or Daily Motion because Top Rank are fussy about, the copyright thing. But it was a good card. Well done to Zhanibek for defending his title again. But he's, fight the other champions. That's got to happen. We've got to breathe some life into this great traditional division, the middleweights. So what do you think? Leave your comments below as usual. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Please hit the subscribe button. You'll be helping us out a great deal. And spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. Please do. Tell your friends to join to subscribe, because we want to build this channel up. Oh, and hit the like button as well. That would be a great help. That helps us out. I look forward to reading your comments about this if you saw it. If you didn't, try and dig it out and catch it. Until next time, we will speak again soon. Bye-bye for now.